And we'll bring our hands to prayer position in front of our heart, setting any intention you would like to set for your practice tonight. And in the center of your palm, you'd like to send out a blessing to anyone in particular, to the world, to our healthcare workers. And we'll open our practice tonight with one Om. If you care to join in, you can say out loud or you can go within. Full breath in. Release our hands, slowly open our eyes, and we're going to come to tabletop to start off with. We're just going to do very little movement, but enough movement that we remove some kinks that we may have in our body. Okay, so from tabletop, we're just going to do a few cat-cows as I get out of the way so my model can demonstrate. So hands on the floor, knees on the floor, inhaling, bringing the chin up, sticking the bum out a little bit, letting the belly just drop into gravity. As you exhale, tuck in the chin and the tailbone. Just very gently start doing this. No need to go into a full-blown cat-cow. We want to keep our body relaxed a little bit. We're just working out a little bit of kinks. And just doing this at your own breath. And maybe each time you accentuate a little bit more, a little bit deeper. And after your next cat round, come to a stillness in tabletop. Now we're going to go into some hip circles, just taking your hips down, around to your heels, back up. Go a few of them very gently and very slowly, just loosening up the hips a little bit with the knees 3 times, and then we'll go to the other side. So we'll pause and reverse the hip circles. 3 times. And we'll pause after the third. Staying in tabletop, we're going to extend the right foot behind us, cross it over the left foot, and then look over your left shoulder. Getting a nice stretch through the right side of the body. And we'll lift that right leg up, bring the knee back, coming into tabletop. And we'll take the left leg out behind us, cross that left foot over the right foot, looking over our right shoulder. And lifting that left foot up, bringing it, the left knee back to meet the right. And now I want you to set yourself up for your child's pose. This is where we're going to start our restorative practice. I like to usually have a couple blankets in front of me or a bolster, a nice couch cushion. I like to have that up. I also do like to go into a wide knees child pose. This is something we're going to hold for a time. So I want you to be very comfortable in this. Relax down. So use as many props as you need. Maybe you need a blanket behind the knees. If your bum doesn't go all the way down, you need help. Put a blanket there, you don't have problem. Just find your pose. Find what's really comfortable for you. Using as many props as you need. And here is, we're in our first pose after doing a little bit of removing some kinks. So here's where your mind may still want to be a little active. So an exercise for that is to just notice what your mind is saying. Notice the thoughts. But more importantly, get to noticing between the thoughts, that space, that little, maybe split second, maybe a few minutes, but that little space, big space, sorry, that space that is between your thoughts. Notice that space. And if you're wondering, oh, how can I do that? My mind's throwing thoughts at me, which it will do. You know, you can imagine taking your thoughts and putting them on a nice fluffy cloud and watching it float away. You know, if it's an important thought, it'll come back to you. If it's not, it'll be gone. It'll go away and you won't miss it. So getting into the practice, especially the first couple poses, we want to guide the mind to either catch a hold of that space between your thoughts, or the exercise of putting the thoughts on a cloud. I mean, I think everyone loves these nice white fluffy clouds. So you know your thought will be in good hands, especially the ones that need to come back to you. They'll come back. They'll come back exactly at the moment you need them to come back. Now, if your thought's telling you you've got this pain in your body in a certain spot, listen to that thought, because we don't want pain. In restorative, it is pure relaxation, very little to none discomfort whatsoever. We use more props, we remove props, whatever will help our body to let go, because we want the muscles to let go. Relaxed muscles makes for a relaxed mind. You know, so if you don't like the adding your thoughts to a cloud, you can always go into counting. You know, counting your thoughts is one way to occupy the mind and to keep it from, you know, going through a to-do list or going over the events. And the reason why I'm saying this is because our mind, as it's, whatever it's doing for you, it's not allowing the muscles to relax. It's not allowing you to be able to let go of the week, of the day, of the month, of the year at this point. And that's why we want to redirect the mind. We can't, you know, we redirect the mind, we're directing it towards something that's more beneficial to you. And there's a little bit that I actually came across last night that I'd like to read, and I'm not an expert in any of this, but, you know, they talk about the neurons, you know, and how these feelings and thoughts get into your muscles. And they say each time we repeat a particular thought, we strengthen a specific set of neurons. Over time, the brain cell embedded in the process becomes wired together. This phenomenon is summed up by the phrase neurons that fire together, wired together. So it goes on to say, you know, you always hear folks talk about changing behaviors, which isn't always easy, but we want to change our thought pattern because we want the good neurons, we want the good thoughts to be the ones wired together. And those good thoughts are, I'm going to allow my body to relax in this class. I'm grateful for, you know, whatever is coming my way. You know, those are the thoughts that we want in our minds. We want to wire the neurons together. But I thought that was pretty interesting to know that. I mean, I kind of knew it, but I didn't know how to put the words together. So this book kind of did a good thing. But we want to be able to allow our thoughts to be coming from our heart. And we need to hear our heart. We need to hear our soul tell us things. So we have to kind of rewire our neurons to hear from there instead of the other, as most of us call it, the monkey mind. And that's why you hear me talk a little bit more in the beginning, because I want to give your mind either my words to hear, directions to do, instead of you being on your own. Most of you pretty much are probably already in your complete relaxed state. But you're not on your own. There's always guidance to redirect the mind if it doesn't want to let go. But we have to let the muscles let go. And when the muscles do, the mind starts to quiet down. And that's our goal. All right, so we're going to begin to deepen our breath. And bring our hands up alongside of our chest and slowly begin to bring yourself up. If you're in a wide knee, you're going to wiggle your knees back together. And then coming into tabletop. And then we're going to find our way onto our bum, off to the side, and we're going to bring our legs out in front of ourselves. So we're getting ready to go into our forward fold. So you can use a chair here, you can use a couch cushion, pillows, bolsters, anything that you can just lean into and allow your muscles to relax. If you have a chair, you could just put the chair right in front of you and rest your head down. Again, this is where you want to be comfortable. If you have bolsters and blocks, you can pile them up just to bring the floor to you, because that's what we do in restorative. We bring the floor up to our body. So we're not overstretching our body. We're allowing our body to just go to its limit, and we back out a little bit, and we use props because we want the muscles to let go. So as you can see, Scott used several blankets and pillows to prop himself up. The arms just rest. We really don't want the arms dangling off to the side. We want them kind of hugged in and resting on something. When any part of our body really dangles off, we have a tendency of, start wearing the connective tissues out a little bit, causing a little bit of discomfort, and we don't want that. So all the props you need, prop it all up. Knees can be very relaxed. We're not going to hold in a normal straddle where your foot is flexed and your knees are protected. We're at a very relaxed state. If straddle doesn't work, you can go into easy pose. Easy cross-legged pose. Sit any way that you know that one, feels good to you. Two, you can sit in for a period of time. In restorative, we do hold anywhere from 5, I can go up to 20 minutes depending upon the pose. Not all poses do we hold. There's some good poses that are really good for 20 minutes. But allow yourself to just sink into this and check in with your body. How is your body feeling at this moment? Is there any tension being held anywhere? And what's the mind doing? Checking in with that space between the thoughts. Is it getting longer? And again, we're just observing, we are not judging it. Relax the jaw. Relax your eyes. Feeling your muscles just sink into gravity. But know that you're being held up with your props. Maybe you can draw your attention down and see how your toes are feeling in this pose. Maybe your foot. If you can't feel the toes, check in with your foot. Forward fold has a lot of great benefits for us. One of which is help to alleviate headaches or migraines. And I would have never thought that, because the last thing I want to do when I have a headache is fold forward, but it does help. I actually did try it. So it's nice. The overall benefit of restorative, all those restorative poses, is to heal our nervous system, to get our nervous system out of that sympathetic fight and flight and move it back into the parasympathetic. Re-educating the nervous system that we don't need to stay in that sympathetic fight and flight mode all the time. That it can go back and forth, because we do need that fight and flight mode, periodically, just not all the time. But a lot of us seem to, have it engaged all the time. We have to run here or there. We have all these meetings, whatever it may be. If you watch the news, that's enough to set your sympathetic on fire. So we do restorative to kind of unwind that and get us back to that parasympathetic where we can get a good night's sleep. You may go to bed and get 8 hours, what you think is 8 hours sleep, but if you're not unwinding the nervous system, your muscles have all that memory. Your mind has a memory of all the events of the day or the week, and it replays it at night when you're sleeping. When we get into restorative, we're letting all that go because your muscles are releasing. Right here in these poses, they're letting go. And when the muscles let go, the mind lets go. So when you go to bed at night, you get a good solid sleep because there's nothing else, coming up while you're sleeping. There's no muscle. The only one I can think of is jerking. That's what my muscles sometimes do, is they just start to almost replay some events of the week. So we do this to take care of ourselves, take care of our nervous system. If you stay in that stressor mode of the sympathetic nervous system, you are pushing your kidneys and your adrenals to fatigue. And one of the signs that comes up that you're getting to that point is when you wake up in the morning, continuously waking up in the morning and saying, I feel so tired. You have to take a look at that. That's your body telling you it's time to stop. You know, I need relaxation. I need to let go. And then your body miraculously heals itself. It's that wonderful. But we have to give it that time to do so. A restorative practice is that. Right, on your next inhale, we're going to begin to slowly, and very slowly, because you've been in this forward fold motion, just slowly begin to come up. Just one vertebrae at a time. And as you come upright, you can take your arms behind you and just lean back into them, resting. And again, just drawing your attention to your breath. And maybe scanning the body to see how your body's feeling in this moment. And we'll sit upright. We're going to go into supine butterfly. But there's two ways to do this. For those who have taken my classes, you know you love bound angle. But we don't have all the props. You probably don't have all the props. So you could take your blankets. And I think it's, if you have it folded in half, then half again, and then folded in thirds. You could put this on for your back. You can lay on that. And then bring your soles of your feet together. No, in thirds. Okay. So you can do this where you're laying on it, soles of your feet together, your knees fall out. I would have pillows or blocks underneath your knees to support them. Because again, you don't want to be using or engaging your muscles. You want them to relax. If the blanket doesn't feel all that good on your back, you could just take it out and just come to laying on the floor. With some pillows. If you have an eye pillow or a scarf or a bandana, you can put that over your eyes. And in restorative, we like to use eye pillows or things like that because it really helps. When we put a covering over our eyes, it helps turn off our senses and allows the body to relax. Even better than it has been. And Scott has done it another way too. Putting the blanket up around your heart center gives you that heart opening at the same time as your butterfly. So that works too as well. Again, you find the pose that works for you. You find all the props that work for you. Just enough to allow the body to relax. And again, if your mind is still active, you know, we want to go into either counting the breath, putting those thoughts on these nice fluffy clouds and let the clouds drift away, or looking for that space between your thoughts. Another exercise I like to do is also just scan the body. Check in with the hands, and then make your way down to the feet on one side and go to the other side. And it's okay to direct your mind to do that because you're still being within your body. And that's where we want to be. We want to be in our bodies. We want to understand what our body's saying, feeling, become more in tune with that body. Relax your jaw. Allow your eyes to just sink back into their sockets. And just feel the body lying on the floor, on your props. Feel yourself being supported. Feeling your breath as it enters into the body and as it leaves. Relax the body. Relax the mind. Follow your breath. Just notice if anything's coming up for you. Feeling yourself deeply relaxing into these poses. Letting go of all worries, all cares, all thoughts. And we hold these poses for a time just so the muscles get a chance to let go and relax. And we do the same thing in the next pose because eventually we get all the muscles to relax, to let go. And then the mind quiets down. So you get the full benefit of the nervous system beginning to heal. We'll begin to deepen our breath a little bit. And then slowly begin to bring your knees up. Taking your time, you may have to help them with your hands. But as your knees come up, we're going to take the feet out wide to the sides of our mat. And let our knees knock into one another. Just coming to a pause at this moment. A nice little counter pose from having them in butterfly. And we'll take our knees and our feet back to hips distance. Depending upon how you are, if you are close to your wall and you want to scoot over and put your legs up the wall, on your bed, on your couch, on a chair. If you're not, bring the knees in and roll over to one side. And just gently bring yourself up to a seated position. Finding that chair or moving to a wall. Whatever you need. So I normally teach it with blocks and bolsters, but not everyone has that now that we're all home. So we'll use a chair. We use whatever we have. As a child, I used to love laying on my couch with my feet up over the back. Little did I know I was doing legs up the wall. So we're just going to position ourselves as Scott's doing with a chair. You know, he'll get in front of it. He'll lift his legs up. And from the knees all the way to the feet will be on the chair. So his whole calf muscle is resting on the chair. Did you want that blanket underneath it? Okay. you lost your eye pillow, maybe someone's around that can help find it for you. Actually, I'm gonna move this a little closer to your knees. Can you lift up a little? There you go. Joint your knee here. If you have your legs up the wall, you want them supported. If your legs are not flat against the wall, if you have a blanket, couch pillow, or something you can put around your knees to protect them. On the chairs, if you don't have a padded chair, you may want to put a blanket over it or a pillow on top. You know, anything that allows your body to be comfortable and let go and relax in it. And as we're settling into the pose, you know, we had a little activation in our muscles to be able to move into this pose or get up and move to a wall. Now we have to settle back into the poses. And again, check in with the mind if it's active, if it's been reactivated. And put their thoughts on a cloud and let them drift away. Or focus on the space between your thoughts. Just redirecting everything. And allow the body just to let go. And there will be silence, so don't think I left you. I just want you to take this time to really be within yourself. Relax the jaw. Relax your tongue. Feeling your muscles as they just sink into the floor. Just notice your breath. And just notice if you're holding tension anywhere. And if you find a spot, draw your attention there. And just take a couple deep breaths in to see if you can get it to release. We'll begin to deepen our breath. And if you have your legs up the wall, I want you to bend the knees a little bit. Just relax them. And then if you have your legs over a couch or chair, up on props, and those who had your legs up the wall, bring your knees into the chest and roll over to one side, just coming to resting in a fetal position, allowing the ground to support you. And using whichever hand is on top, as you inhale, you can push into the floor to bring yourself up. And if you have a chair there or props, you can just move them out of the way. And we're gonna make our way, after I got you up, we're gonna make our way right back onto our back. So we're gonna do a twist. So we're gonna go into our backs. If a twist just doesn't call for your body right now, I'm gonna suggest to you a side lying pose. So let me get the folks in a twist first. So when you're on your back, you can bring your knees into the chest and just drop your knees over to either side. Sometimes I like to have pillows on that side, pillows between my knees, whatever it is that helps support so I can just relax. The arms can be alongside your body wherever you're comfortable. If you want a side lying pose. So we're going to take our blanket, fold it in half again lengthwise. No, you stay in your twist. Thank you. We're going to bring the blanket up around heart center. Our shoulder and arms will be on the other side. Now I don't have a pillow, but imagine having a pillow for your head. You probably do. And then you can have, thank you. You can have a bolster, blanket, cushion here to support your arm, and you're just going to relax down into here. So this is recommended if you do not feel like a twist is in, your body wants to do a twist tonight. Other than that, you can take your twist. I know twist isn't for everybody. It is good for your body, but sometimes, your body just doesn't want that twist. And that's okay. We go into side lying. We're going to still keep our muscles in that relaxed mode, our mind in that quiet mode. Relax your jaw. Allow your internal organs to relax into this pose. Feel the sensation of the muscles just letting go in this pose. we'll begin to deepen our breath a little bit. And if you're in the twist, slowly begin to bring your knees up, back to hips distance, pausing a moment. If you're in side lying, you can stay there. And for the twist, you can inhale your knees into the chest and drop your knees over to the other side. Again, adjusting if you need props between your legs, you need blankets or pillows on the floor for your knees to fall into. And then if you're in side lying, you can stay here or you can go to the other side. There's no harm with side lying to stay on the one side. But if you want to make that adjustment, you can move to your other side. Relax your jaw. Allow your tongue to relax. Need to deepen your breath. And very slowly, if you're in the twist, begin to bring your knees up to center. And just pausing there. Maybe you want to take your knees out straight. Take the arms overhead. See what your body's calling for at this time. Just be very mindful and slow. If you're inside lying, you can remove the blanket, come onto your back and do the same thing. Stretch out the legs, take the arms overhead if you'd like. But moving slowly as we've had the muscles very quiet for some time now. The mind as well. And now you can set yourself up for your Shavasana. So your final resting pose, whatever that is for you, whether it's laying out straight, putting a blanket over you, you can easily prop up the legs again, prop up the knees. Make it your final resting pose that you can relax into this and allow this class to integrate within your body. Yeah. Your final resting pose to allow the body to just, once again, relax. Let go. We'll begin to deepen our breath, making small movements by wiggling our fingers and toes. Taking a full breath in. Maybe lifting the arms up and taking them overhead, flexing your feet, giving a nice stretch through the front line of your body. And then bring your knees into your chest and roll over to one side. Just coming to resting in a fetal position, allowing the ground to support you. As you bring your attention to your breath, follow it as you inhale in, and follow your breath as you exhale. Maybe noticing as you inhale, the breath is coming in and going down into your lungs. And as you begin to exhale, you're noticing the air coming up out of your lungs and out your nose. Just bring an awareness right back to your body by following your breath. And using the hand that is on top, you can press that into the floor as you inhale, bringing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And I'll scoot in front now too. Remain still, keeping that relaxed state. We'll bring our hands to prayer position in front of our heart, connecting with the intention you may have set at the beginning of class. And connect in with any blessing you set in the center of your palms. And as we exhale, we will bow, sealing in our practice. Inhale, we'll rise, placing our hands on our knees, palms face up, index finger curl into the thumb. And we'll take a release breath. So we'll inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth. And we'll end tonight's practice with one Om. If you care to join in, full breath in. Namaste. Thank you all for practicing with us tonight.